Hey everybody, welcome. My special guest today is the awesome, amazing, and handsome Phil Gerbyshak. Phil, welcome.
What's up, David? So glad to be here, my friend.
And we were talking right before I hit record that you and I are charter members of the Hip and Cool Funky Glasses Club.
Yes, indeed we are, sir. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right now there's only two of us.
You already, you have the whole coordination thing. You've got like the red with the red, the yellow with the yellow, the green with the green. I have one pair. So I try and stick with like the blues and the grays always.
That's cool. That's cool. Rock what you got, right?
That's it. Rock what you got. So we have so much to talk about. You are an expert in this mysterious art, this mysterious magic called social selling. And, people have heard of social media, and they've heard of social media marketing, and they've probably heard of selling or sales, but you have this fabulous kind of hybrid approach that's gaining some popularity, and it's almost becoming a buzzword now, social selling, but you take it to a very different level that makes it very, very special, very personalized, and really based on relationships. So walk us through kind of the magic of social selling according to Phil.
Sure. So it starts with really target identification. Who do I want to talk to? And then why would they give any crap about why I'm talking? That's really important. And really, that's step zero, but that is so critical because all the time, people they jump in, they start sharing content, they start connecting, and then they're like, oh crap, why did I do that? What am I trying to do? So you have to really start with your target, and then it's about getting dressed. So getting dressed just like we did, right? We're wearing our glasses, we look like ourselves, and that seems like such a basic thing, but that's the profile put together. Nobody pays you for either one of those things, though. You have to remember, nobody's paying you to say, yep, these are my customers, and yep, this is what I look like. Right. But yet, would you really go to a networking event? Would you really try to sell anybody something naked and with no idea who you're talking to? I sure hope not. Uh-oh. Yeah, no. So don't do that, right? So those are kind of the early steps. Those are foundational. And then from there, once you know what people want, create some stuff for them, right? Either you create your own content or you share other people's content, recognizing that you're not the only smart person on the planet that has your ideas. David, you're a marketer. You're an awesome marketer. I share your stuff. We could be seen as competitors, but no, the pie is big.
Right.
People might love me and not love David as much, and so that might be a great fit or vice versa. And that's the same in all sales, right? Because seldom do we have a product that is so unique and so revolutionary that nobody has ever done it before. So if that's true, then what do we have left? We have ourselves. So then I show up a lot. I'm there often. And I am trying to always help. Help first.
Right. So I love this. And I think one thing that people really need to understand, what I'd love to understand, is this is not batch and blast. This is not one-to-many. The way that you do social selling, it's one-to-one. It's customized, it's tailored, it's personalized, and it really drives people to an invitation to do business with you. So could you map out, what would be really, really valuable is, because I've heard you speak about this and you get very specific and tactical, but I'm thinking, okay, if I'm a speaker, I'm a consultant, I'm a coach, whether I'm doing that for big Fortune 500 companies, whether I'm doing that with small business owners, entrepreneurs, doesn't matter. What does give me an idea of what Phil would do to reach out to an individual or an executive that might hire you? What are the touch points in that entire social selling campaign?
Sure. So first, I look to see, is there anybody inside that organization that I know or that I could get an introduction to? Most people don't ever even do that. So go to LinkedIn, go to Google, look for people there that you know. Maybe there's some sort of employee directory. Usually LinkedIn is going to be your best source. And LinkedIn makes it so obvious who you know, who they know, and then one more level, 3 levels deep. You should have a warm introduction to somebody in that organization and just talk to them. Try to develop a relationship. Now, David, if it's someone you know and you're a second connection, hopefully, this is again why we're strategic, David can say enough good things about Phil that when David touches that person, they're like, oh, the trust that I have for David clearly passes through to Phil, so I'm going to take that 15-minute meeting. I'm going to take that 5-minute phone call. But be respectful, right? Be respectful of their time.
So you would, let's say that we do have a connection in common, and I know Susie Cream Cheese over at IBM.
Yep.
And you're trying to do business with IBM or with Susie's division, and you would first ping me, and you would say, hey, David, it looks like you're connected to Susie at IBM. Is she a total stranger to you, or do you have like a real relationship with her?
That's right.
Yep. And then I said, no, we went to high school together. I love Susie. Susie and I just had lunch last week. And you'd be like, dude, you know what? Could you do me a huge solid and connect me with Susie? I'm not going to sell her anything. I just want to reach out and see what they're doing in the areas of social selling or relationship marketing or any of that fabulous stuff that you do. And so then I might even go off LinkedIn. I might just send an email, right? If I know Susie personally, I'll be like, Susie, meet Phil. Phil meets Susie. And now LinkedIn was the intelligence gathering, but the actual connection happens via a 3-way email, just very personal, very friendly, very casual. I think it'd be worth you meeting Phil and Phil meeting you. This isn't necessarily about, selling each other anything. It's 2 good people who need to know each other.
That's right. Yep. And that's really important that you say that, David, because taking it off of LinkedIn, taking it off of social is really what makes social powerful, because we can be friends and we don't have to do business there. That
right.
Online transactions start offline, and they often require an offline connection. So again, that spray and pray, that blast it out. I mean, really, do you really want to blast your network, or do you want to nurture them and love them and help them succeed? That's what I want to do.
Right.
I want to help. And I know you do, David. And most people, they're happy to help, but they don't want to be seen as someone who's connecting other people. I call it the watch salesman. Hey, you want to buy a watch?
Right.
That's not what you want.
Right.
You want someone that's going to treasure that relationship. So you get that relationship. You meet Susie Cream Cheese. You have a cup of coffee in person if possible,
right.
Or a video call like this on
right.
Zoom, or a phone call, but something more personal. And you don't have to talk about business. You have to talk about, so what's going on in IBM that's happening today that is important, because truly they may need your service, but it might not be right now.
Sure. And just the data gathering is so much more valuable, because that's how you're going to ramp up your relevance.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Relevance score, if you will. You want to be as relevant as you can. So think about what's relevant to Susie, so that when Susie then is going to connect you maybe to the next link in the chain, maybe all the way up, how will you make Susie look really good and put the risk at nearly 0, so that when Susie makes that recommendation, it's clear that you can really provide value. And that might be through articles, could be through videos, it could be through white papers, it could be through, an ebook or a physical book, whatever that is. But asking Susie, so when you're handing this off, when you're making that introduction, what would help this person? What's their style? So maybe even using a tool like Crystal to find out if they're big on social too.
So what is Crystal?
So crystalknows.com is a great tool for doing that behind the scenes research on people, so that they can actually, get a relevant message to them.
So I'll put that in our show notes, in our little blog post entry. It's Crystal Knows, Knows.
Correct. Yep. But I learned that from
and so you're a wealth of these tools and platforms and software and all these ninja tricks.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the goal is to make my job easier, which ultimately will make your job easier, right? If you're selling, you don't have time for a lot of stuff, So how do we kind of shorten that up? Because it still has to be one-to-one.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, nobody anymore, at least in B2B selling, opens up a marketing message and says, holy crap, I'm going to spend $250,000 on your product or service.
Because I got an email blast.
Yeah. Woo, yay, woo. I've been waiting for that all week.
Right.
No, nobody does that. Instead, here's what works. David the salesman sending a personal email that says, hey, Phil, based on a conversation or based on something that I talked to Susie Cream Cheese about, here's 3 things that I thought might be helpful for your goals of this, this, and that inside your organization.
Yeah.
Wow. I just added value and I helped address your big 3 things. Wow. Now the next thing is, hey, are there other things that might be of value that I could provide for you?
Right.
How else can I help? And maybe they ask, I get asked often, do you know a good graphic designer? And I'm like, yep, this is me. Let me connect you with Hubris.
Right.
He's fantastic. Hugh over at socialidentities.com is my guy. I talk to Hugh and he just does a terrific job. Or I'm looking for, someone who's your nerdy best friend. So our pal, Beth Z, right. We connect them to Beth at yournerdybestfriend.com. And Beth takes care of that. Or somebody, I need health concerns. I'm going to connect them over to Eliz Green over at embraceyourheart.com. Whatever it is, that answer isn't necessarily me. But then when they do need me, because we've developed a relationship, it's a non-threatening connection. We're able to connect in a human-to-human way, to steal Brian Kramer's words, right? H to H, human to human, really important. Now they have trust for me. So now when I say, hey, David, can I have 30 minutes instead of just 15? Because I want to make sure that there's nothing else that I could do that would be of service to you.
Sure. Well, I think you're even raising the bar beyond it's a safe connection or it's a no-risk connection. It's a hugely valuable connection because now you become the focal point of, my name for this is you become the connector of cool people, things, and ideas other than your own, right? So as you're recommending, crystalknows.com, as you're recommending socialidentities.com, as you're recommending our friend Eliz Green, as you're recommending Beth, as you're recommending, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes, and we're friends. We know each other, and I'm still learning from you during this interview. So that you become the sorter and the filter and the clarifier and the pointer out of cool things. And then when it's like, hey, by the way, there may be some other ways that I can be helpful to you. Would that be worth a short chat? What are they going to say? No, Phil, you've helped me too much already. I don't want more help. I don't want more value. I don't want more relevance. Of course not. So you've become truly, and we talk about this as a cliche, but it's a trusted advisor. You've really become a trusted advisor, and now you're seen because you act like a partner and not a peddler.
That's right. And to stay in front between those connections, that's where the social media comes into play. So I've had that first meeting. I made sure I can add some value. Now I'm going to request a connection on LinkedIn. Now I'm going to follow and I'm going to send a note that says, hey, by the way, I'd really love to follow you back. I'd really love it if you followed me back. I can add even more value to your life. Hey, would you give me a follow? And I'm happy to help you with that. And it's not begging.
Right.
But you've already seen my stream. You see what I'm sharing. You know that I'm valuable. I made a connection today with someone who immediately went through and looked at the last 10 posts that I made and liked several of them on LinkedIn. Oh, yeah. Wow. And I bet you few of them were actually about me. But they're all about the problems that she has. So now I can say, aha, now I can go deeper. Hey, that article you liked, would you like to have a conversation about that?
Right.
Because maybe that can be helpful.
Key question. I get this question like 5 times a week, and I don't know enough about it, but I want to ask a guru like yourself. Are you doing all of this with just the free version of LinkedIn, or is there a paid version that gives you some of these insights?
So you can just use the free version.
Okay.
That absolutely works.
That's what I've been telling people, but I'm pretty ignorant about what you get with like the super duper levels.
Yeah. So that works if you're real time. Okay. So if right now I just connected with someone, I take 5 minutes and I look, David just commented on 5 of my posts or liked them, or even he didn't just accept my connection request. He actually viewed my profile. Now I can see that real time. But if I want to look back at the last 14 days, now pay for it. So the answer is, if all you're doing is sitting on social, right, before you have business, or maybe you just have a few business connections, that's okay. Go with the free version. But if you want to get serious, first, if you have a team, Sales Navigator is terrific. Terrific tool. It's about $100 a month. So that's $1,200 a year. If you're in B2B sales and you're not earning back 10 times that revenue, you suck at sales.
And Sales Navigator, is that a download, or is that web-based, or do you have to have Mac, PC? What is that?
Nope. Everything with LinkedIn is all web-based. They're a SaaS product.
So Sales Navigator is built into LinkedIn.
It is. In fact, it's a separate inbox. It's separate everything. And completely
so it's not like an add-on app, because there are a lot of these third-party apps now.
It is not. No, it's LinkedIn Sales Navigator.
Got it. Okay.
So
is that Mac or PC? It's a question from like 1998, but that's okay.
No, well, you don't
and I
know.
Go back that far.
We do. It's iPhone or Android, right? So that's always the thing.
Right.
So Sales Navigator, though, it's software as a service, right? It's all online. It does open up in a separate window because it is a separate way to use LinkedIn. It's very, very separate. But think of that as your business-to-business, team-centered sales tool. Okay? Now, you can have a team of 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That's fine. David and I share connections. Real easy. That's no problem. Or you can go with the premium route. The premium route is not Sales Navigator. That actually overlays on the free version of LinkedIn and opens up more filters, gives you more in-mails. In-mails are those unsolicited messages to people you're connected to. Yeah. And it really offers human targeting instead of company targeting. So it depends what you're trying to do. Yeah. You want humans, go with the premium. If you want business, if you want corporations and you're going to circle a bunch of people and follow a bunch of people and try to get in the way that we just talked about, then go with Sales Navigator.
Love it. Gold. Let me switch over, because also as a thought leader, as a speaker, as a coach and consultant yourself, you're up to something pretty cool that you describe. And you didn't even tell me about this, because we're having a first conversation about this right now. You were saving it. Tell me about your digital coaching program, what that is, how that works, how you're rolling it out. First from the Phil perspective of kind of how you as a thought leader are marketing your smarts via a digital coaching program. And then tell us on the consumer side why it's awesome and why we should probably have a look at it.
Sure. So I thought, I want to help more people at a time. I like to do, more people. I like to help more people. So I thought, how can I do that? Well, I can go 1-to-1, and I can probably top out at maybe 5 or 6 a month.
At $10,000 each.
Yeah. So
at least.
Yeah. So it's high ticket because you're getting that 1-to-1 thing, but you're just getting my brain and your brain. So that's, like 2 brains. Let's call that 3 ideas. Now I'm like, okay. So I'm fairly smart, but I know that with 10 of us in a room, a digital room, now we can really have 11 ideas. And those 11 ideas really are even more additive. That's at least 22 ideas, because each one person will comment on at least one other person's idea.
Yeah.
So now we got maybe 22, but really it's 11 times 11. So now we got 121 ideas. I'm like, holy crap. Wow. That scales a lot better for my clients, because now instead of just one trusted advisor, now they get 11. Now, not everybody in the group is going to be a perfect fit. That's fully true. I know that. But I'm like, So as I do a lot of this social selling coaching. I help people, get a better digital footprint. I help people get leads. I help them, earn referrals and earn introductions and do some of the things that we talked about at the beginning, and then create that content that really just grabs you and says, ooh, I should pay attention here.
Right.
So it's all of that. And then I have to call it digital, because some of it is email, right? You have to have an email newsletter now or you're dead.
Yeah.
Some of it is maybe text messaging. depending who you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
You know, Snapchat, is that really social media? Maybe. I don't know, but it's all digital. It's all over the wire. Now, not saying that you don't need business cards. Not saying you don't still write letters. You're still doing it in person. But the focus, because we have to focus, is digital. Let's talk digital. And let's go deep on that. So it's, 8 to 12 weeks, depending. And the consumer, the person who would be on a perfect coachee would be someone who has a profile, has some of these tools. They might be on Twitter, might have some LinkedIn, but they're like, why do I use this? I mean, I didn't have a strategy at first, so now I need one. But really, I don't want to pay, $5 to $10 grand just for a strategy, because in 90 days, that's probably going to be out of date.
Right.
But I want to learn how to use
If they want out of date strategies for 10 grand, they'll come to me. That's what I'm saying, buddy. You want totally out of date, obsolete stuff for 10 grand? I'm your guy. You want like the good stuff for a lot less? You should talk to Phil.
There you go.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm keeping it real.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
dude.
So digital coaching. So talk about how does this work? Like, is this in a Facebook group? Is it teaching, training, plus mastermind? So it's kind of a fusion, or how do the sessions roll out? I mean, give us a flavor. We're going to sign up. We're going to sign up. We're all going to sign up. What's it going to be like week one? Or is there homework? Is there like a course module? Is it just kind of Phil, jamming on the phone? How does it work?
Yeah, great question. So it starts, of course, with an intake form to do some pre-assessment, to understand where you are. And you'll get that back from me with, some feedback and put in a good format. So you can see, here's where I need work. Here's why I need this. And here's what my goals are. Because
so I start with kind of a baseline of where I am and where I'd like to go. And then you and I kind of talk about that, or you mark it up and then send it back to me.
That's right. Yep. So that's really kind of, again, week 0, right? You don't get paid to get dressed.
Right.
That's how it works. So you get dressed and you make sure that you're a fit. Why me? Why do you want to work with Phil? Why not David? Why not somebody else?
Because they don't want the 10 grand outdated stuff.
Anyway. Yeah, you are too kind, my friend. You are brilliant. So thank you. So that's the first thing. And then from there, right, kind of week 1 is kind of butt sniffing, right? We're going to set the table. We're going to make sure here's what we're going to talk about, at least for the first few weeks, because I want this to be a cohort. The goal is that everybody goes through this at the same time. So after week 1, right, we're going to set the table. We're going to jam through that topic.
So this is not like a canned program. This is kind of like what Seth Godin does, where let's bring everyone together. Let's figure out what you need, and I will build the program for you and with you.
That's right. Yep. And of course, right, I've got things. I'm not going to go out of my depths and talk about things I don't know about. If you need accounting help,
sure,
I'm not going to be your guy. Right. So let's be clear. I'm not going to teach you 12 weeks in accounting.
Right.
I'm absolutely going to tailor it to the needs of the group. And then in addition to that, it's a Facebook group, a private group that you can then interact with your cohort in. So you talk to your folks. Again, in between there, it also helps you get held accountable. Because if I say, this week, David, my goal is to, post 25 messages on LinkedIn and to connect with 10 new decision makers. And then on Friday, when we have our next meeting, and I've only connected with one decision maker and done nothing, why are you paying for that?
Yeah.
So there's
sort of a built-in accountability piece.
That's right. And it's goal accountability. So every session after the first one is all, let's review what we did. Let's talk about this. Hey, good job, David. Well done. Bravo, sir. And for the other folks, hey, here's what you did. Now let's talk about a new topic. Let's introduce a new topic. And we're going to talk about video this week. So we might talk about Zoom.us.
Right.
We might talk about Facebook Live video. We might talk about 15 seconds on Instagram, or however many seconds Snapchat lets you do in one video.
Right.
Whatever that is. And then you're going to go out and actually make videos. And we're going to share them in the group so that we can help promote each other. We're going to get each other going so that everybody gets to rise up. You get, again, 11 or 12 or 13 people at the most.
12 new best friends.
That's right. 12 best friends that can help you really get this going.
I love that. I love that. I want to talk about two more things.
Yeah.
Number one is there is a fabulous new book that is in the works from my buddy Phil Gerbyshak called Networking Superhero. Now, is that a social selling book? Is that a networking book? Is that online, offline? Give us a prequel and a preview of what is, well, first of all, what is a networking superhero? And then how is that book going to unfold?
Yeah. So what a networking superhero is somebody who puts the greater good in front of their own needs and is a superhero about connecting other people.
Wow.
And uses those superpowers like listening, asking questions, being fast to follow up.
Yeah.
Things like that people frankly have lost the art of, right? Writing a thank you note, something our friend Tom Singer does very well.
Yeah.
Things like that, right? So that's what a networking superhero is. And what it's going to be is I'm going to write it as a book. It'll also be an ebook and likely a program as well, because as things evolve, we need to keep adding new tools. So the physical book will be a lot of the principles, things like being more human, the power of a thank you note, how to do an introduction, the art of referrals, things like that frankly aren't taught in any school anymore. You know,
I'm not sure they ever were.
Well, maybe in the schoolhouse, in small towns where everybody knew everybody else's name, maybe that was the after school course, but maybe not formally. But people need this stuff. I mean, I'm seeing over and over again, people don't get even how to be grateful for what they get from other people. So teaching that and making sure, that how to say you're sorry and really make it real instead of, I have someone over the weekend that 3 days went by. We were supposed to chat over the weekend. 3 days went by. I had to remind the person that we were scheduled to chat, and I got back one word: sorry.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have for that individual in the future.
Seriously,
Just
right?
Just saying.
Well, there's a new term for the book. It's your networking equity, right?
That's it.
It's your personal stock. It goes up and down. This person's networking equity just became a junk bond. It became a penny stock. It's like, sorry, buddy.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
wow,
so
that's brilliant, dude. That is really, really exciting. Because there's a million books, networking this, networking that. But even that little preview and those half a dozen ideas that you just shared, man, I mean, pure gold. And you can say, well, on one level, it's, back to basics, back to the fundamentals, but no one's even teaching the fundamentals anymore. It's all just like, build an email list and have remarkable content. What? And please and thank you. It's like, no. I mean, it's almost like, it's so funny. Someone else said, I forget who, maybe it's become a thing now, that in this hyper-connected world, we know how to do everything except connect.
Yeah, I think maybe Sherry Turkle even said that. She's written some great books about that, but that's so true. I mean, we spend so much time producing content for content's sake or doing social selling just for the sake of selling, and we don't really serve, and we don't really get out of our own way and really make an impact and connect with other people, with each other. One-to-one, because that's how it happens. Otherwise, it's like streaking in a network party. Hey, look at me, I'm awesome, buy my stuff, click my junk, I'm naked, yeah! It's like, whoa, dude, I don't want to see that. Sorry, Phil, but... no
one wants to see that. Especially if it's me, trust me, no one wants to see that.
Me either, brother.
Yeah.
That's why we wear glasses.
So, last question, which is, we've known each other and known of each other for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And I forget if I was first one of your subscribers or you were first one. I think I was one of your subscribers, actually, before I even had my act together. And so I know your first identity when you came out with your personal brand was make it great, right? Phil Gerbyshak, make it great. And I still, to this day, even though that was years and years and years ago, I still associate, like when I say your name, silently I'm saying, make it great, make it great. So tell us about your personal brand evolution and kind of how you got to where you are today. because I think everyone's, people think, oh, well, Phil just came on the scene with the social selling and the digital coaching and the new book, and boom, he's an overnight success. Well, like most of us, you're like a 10-year, 15-year overnight success. So walk us through Phil 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and so on.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I think back like 15 years ago, before I had a website, I remember it used to be over $100 a year just to register a domain name.
Oh, sure. Network Solutions.
Yeah. Networksolutions.com, $149 per year. And then hosting for 5 megs was like 50 or 100 or 200 bucks a month, which is like one MP3 for all of you listening here. One MP3.
Hey, kids, that's one song, okay?
Yeah, one song, right? Oh, thank you, David. Yeah, let's bring us way back up to speed. Yeah, not quite a record or an 8-track, but it's one song.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't know who the heck I was. I didn't buy philgerbyshak.com. In fact, I just remembered that I thought I was the 80s guy. Back in 1996, I had an Angel Fire website. And it is still online today. You cannot, if you Google my name, you will not find it. I don't think it's indexable because likely the advertising bots have overtaken it.
Sure.
But I was the 80s guy, and I knew all about the 80s. I thought I was going to run a restaurant/retro store called the 80s Cafe.
I am so there, buddy. Nintendo, Space Invaders, Donkey Kong, Quisp and Quake cereal. Come on, I'm in.
Yeah, so so that was really the start of all these crazy things. I thought I'm 80s guy. Well, of course, 80sguy.com was not available. I owned the 80sguy.com. Lame-o. Didn't work, whatever. Didn't have time to build a website. That Angel Fire site still up, sadly, in the ether, whatever. So I did that, and then I'm like, okay, all right, so now what? So I'm like, what do I do? So I went and I started reading a ton of books, and I saw that, I wanted to make things better. I want to improve things. So I'm like, what does that mean? And so I like to create, and I like superlatives. So make and great, I was like, okay, well, I want to make pizza great, and I want to make leadership great, and I want to make productivity great. And back then, my blog was everything. Like so it was like, make it. Well, what's it? Whatever you want it to be. David, you want me to be a productivity blogger? I'm your guy. How about you write about getting things done? Yep, I'll do it. I'm in the Customer Service Hall of Fame for some obscure website that's no longer available.
Now, were you at this, and I don't remember the story necessarily, but were you in IT, so it was make IT great, or am I just reading into that?
No, it's hilarious you say that, because I was in IT, but that was never, in fact, until recently, I have run away from my technology past.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would get all the people in IT, oh, Phil, you want to make IT great? Yeah, go Phil. I'm like, no, it's just it. Make it great. So
right.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to me anyway. So we did that, and I was, the Make It Great guy. A lot of people knew me as that. I did tons of interviews. I wrote my first book, which actually turns 10 years old this June 30th, called 10 Ways to Make It Great. Yeah, 10 years. Now, if you go buy it on Amazon, you will see how not to self-publish a book.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Yeah, I promise you will. I think the page numbering is wrong. The cover looks like it says make it a great, like, have a nice day with a Ghostbuster symbol through it. It's not my best work, but it's my first book, right? So I wrote 10 Ways to Make It Great 10 years ago, June 30th. And so that was my identity for a long while. And a lot of people knew me as Phil, the Make It Great guy. And that's cool. And then I thought, maybe, I like to connect with people, and I like to build relationships online. So I bought relationshipgeek.com. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's cool, right? Relationships and geeks. Those don't fit together. That's like, military intelligence. Those are oxymorons, So I'm like, all right, so that's fun. And then people are like, so are you like Dr. Phil, like giving relationship advice? I'm like, no, I'm not. And I came up with this idea that I'm the combination of, if Dr. Phil and Jim Collins had a love child, right? Good to great, and relationship advice, relationship geek. That's me. Yeah. And that fell short. That really
You
wasn't.
can never unsee that picture, by the way, Dr. Phil and Jim Collins. Like, you can never unsee that. That's permanent.
It probably is. Yeah. Thankfully, yeah. So no babies there. But so I did that, and I'm like, that sucks. And then in 2000, I want to say 2008, I kind of embraced my full Phil. I became
the full Phil.
Yeah. I moved all my stuff from what was first on Blogspot, which was a free blogging platform that Google still, I think, owned.
I have a Blogspot blog, 2003.
Yeah, woohoo! So from there to TypePad, Seth Godin still runs on TypePad.
Yeah.
So for all of you youngsters who think that's funny, the best marketer in the world still is on TypePad. And then to WordPress.
And the number one blog in the world.
It is, yep. Google Seth, and you'll likely come across Seth Godin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so then I finally embraced this Phil Gerbyshak guy of who I am. And that's full color, full energy, full Phil all the time. And so, but it still continues to evolve. There are still components that are still, kind of smoothing out some edges, finding some new ones, still pushing the envelope. I think, branding is not an overnight process, and it's not really who you say you are. It's who other people say that you are. David, the fact that it still resonates with you, make it great. That's really cool. That's neat. Jason Kotecki says the same thing, and Kim, his wife, that's how they think of me as well. And I'm honored that continues to happen. But now, like the whole Phil Gerbyshak thing, or really a lot of people can't spell Gerbyshak, so just Phil Gerb is enough.
Right.
And so philgerb.com works to get you to me, and Phil Gerb on Twitter and LinkedIn and pretty much any network, because 8 characters, let's rewind all the way back, that used to be all you had for an email address was 8 characters, which is why passwords today still have to be 8 or more characters. So now I'm dating myself, but there you go, David.
DOS, baby. DOS on the PC, 8-character file names.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Good
so
times.
That's the evolution of Phil.
That's amazing. That is really fantastic. Well, I think it goes back to if you're not reinventing yourself and you're not pivoting, because think about all the marketplace changes. Think about your clients. Think about your audiences. Think about the business ecosystem that we're in. If you are still doing what you're doing, what you were doing in 1992, and by the way, some of our colleagues are still doing what they were doing in 1992, you would not be successful. You'd be irrelevant. You'd be out of date. You'd be in the junkyard. You'd be in mothballs. The fact that you and I have to continuously reinvent, recharge, refresh, reposition, and repivot what we do means that we're in the game and we're keeping up with our clients and audiences.
Yeah.
Right? People go, Snapchat, what's that? Vine, what is that, like a gardening thing? It's like, no, people, follow Phil, get involved in social selling, get involved in being a networking superhero, and other people can tell you what Snapchat is and what Vine is. So, Phil, this has been fantastic. I was going to say great, but more than great. Fantastic. Tell people how they can stay connected to you, learn more about the digital coaching program, learn more about the book coming out. How do we stay in Phil world?
Sure. So the easiest way to stay connected to me is just join me on LinkedIn. Just find Phil Gerbyshak. I'm the only one. Gerbyshak. Real simple. If you like short codes, it's Phil Gerb. Just search for that. You'll find me on LinkedIn. Of course, you can go to philgerbyshak.com. Feel free to, subscribe to my newsletter, send me an email, play around on Twitter. If you want to know how to use Twitter, follow me. I take part in some Twitter chats. I certainly share plenty of content. If you respond to me, I'll respond to you. I do my best to reach out to people, have conversations with them. And if you go to, Phil Gerbyshak on Facebook, you can follow my personal fun, or you can follow my business page. Either way, whatever makes most sense for you. If you friend me, that means I get to see your stuff too. So it's okay if you don't want to do that. I'm not looking to stalk your life, but you're welcome to connect. I'd be happy to help. And I'm Phil Gerb on your favorite social networking channel, whatever that is. And if I'm not there, tell me about it and I'll join up and I'll play around.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, Phil, thank you. This has been a wealth of information. We're going to have all kinds of notes and goodies posted down below the video so you can stay connected with Phil and all of his fabulous recommendations for the tools, the people, and the technology that you need to be a networking superhero and a social selling rock star. And yes, you can use that as a testimonial. Phil Gerbyshak is a networking superhero and a social selling rock star. Because he is. Because I say so.
Woohoo!
So there you go. All right, my friend. Pleasure as always. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.